Welcome to the Superfacts Show on the Superfacts Network, featuring St. Laz, who also hosts the popular web series Gem Pop, and music journalist Mark Walter Ward. They have discussions about hip-hop, culture, society, philosophy, and everything else. Now available on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcasts. What up, world? It's your boy Mark Walter Ward, Superfacts Show, Superfacts Network. Today I'm joined by three lovely young ladies from this fascinating venture that's starting a preschool cipher that's going to use hip-hop to educate children. We got Binks Love, Jamila Yasmin, and Miss Tata. I hope I ain't butcher anybody's name. How y'all doing today?
Great.
Great. Thanks for having us.
All right, before we get into anything, Miss Tata, you like the coldest winter ever. That's one of my favorite books. Did you like Midnight?
I mean, through his description, yes, he seemed like he'd be my type.
No, I mean the book. Did you ever read the sequel? You know, there's a sequel. A book about Midnight.
I've never read the sequel.
It's very different in tone. It's polarizing amongst the Sister Soldier reader community.
I read every last book. You gotta read that, Tata. You gotta read that one.
Yeah.
I will. I was in the midst of Life After Death, but I'll get Midnight After.
Yeah. What do you think about that one? That one is good. That's the next level.
I thought it was an interesting perspective. Something to get used to.
I can kind of relate. So I like Midnight better. I went through some of those things, but that's not for preschool cipher shows. So why don't y'all tell me about the preschool cipher, how it got started? Y'all have an extremely I guess I don't want to be condescending, but it's professional. It's a well done launch, and just let everybody know about it, how it came to be, all that good stuff. The dreaded talk about it question, but y'all actually got something to talk about.
Well, first, thank you for having us on your platform. I really appreciate it. The Preschool Cypher was really a baby of mine that I've been grooming and developing for a long time. It came out of my understanding that children really love hip hop, but all hip hop is not for children. And so children don't like bubblegum music either. They're very smart and they know when they're trying to be tricked, you know? So they want the real stuff. They want to hear what we listen to, but it's not always something that children should listen to. So I started working at Sesame Street, and I had a desire to, this is while I was in NYU, I was an intern there. And I just felt like I needed something with a little bit more edge. I wanted to do something that was true to myself, true to my culture, and more representative of the children in the hood, really, the children who were growing up listening to hip hop. So back in 2001, I did a little thesis project for NYU, and we had a little show, which actually Miss Tai was a little thing at that time, and she was one of the children in the show. And at that time, the concept of the show was like a reality preschool with children. This was the time when reality shows were really getting big. And so I thought we should have a reality preschool show. And this was like a little pilot for that. And over time, I started teaching and was just moving away from media. And then when COVID hit, I realized, whoa, you know, like now's the time to really get this preschool cipher popping, because children all over the world are in their house trying to learn. And I reached out to Miss Tai, who is now a teacher herself. And I knew she would be amazing because she's, you know, popping, you know, and I thought she's a popping teacher. She's the perfect person to be on there. And I reached out to Binks and let her know, like, listen, it's time for us to get this thing, you know, started. And we came together creatively and we put the Preschool Cypher together. And so this is what you have now. It's a preschool show designed to teach preschool curriculum with hip hop foundation. So we're not doing no gimmicky hip hop. This is all real hip hop. It's all authentic to the culture. And hopefully we'll do a good job of representing for the culture as well as educating the babies with real curriculum.
Did you, when you worked at Sesame Street, did you feel that, the, you mentioned how you felt that the needs in your community weren't being addressed. Do you feel that that was something that was just, how should I put it? Underserving or, ignorance on, or maybe not ignorant. Was it underserved or systemic, I guess I should say?
Well, I feel like in all media, it's hard to really get a true representation of my culture. However, I think Sesame Street, at the time that it was created and developed, it was the best thing on the air, really, because it was the first time that they took cameras into an urban setting and focused on urban children. And it's been, very diverse. They're one of the first shows to now even incorporate children with special needs and have children with autism be featured on the show. The puppets have autism, trying to discuss that, which is something that's really close to my heart. And so I think, all props to Sesame Street for everything they've done. But I feel like in order to really create authentic hip hop, you have to kind of be in the culture and know it's just an organic thing that happens. And anytime people try to really work hard to infuse hip hop, it becomes very gimmicky in my opinion. Yeah. So I've seen it done a few times, and props to everybody that's out there working through the culture, trying to teach the babies. Everybody has a lane. But I just felt like this was a space that needed to be filled.
I totally agree. My daughter watches this thing called Go Noodle, and it's like these two white dudes that do like dances with rap songs. And I'm not gonna say it offends me, but I make sure to show her the real version of each and every one of them.
Yes.
But
I'm very familiar with Go Noodle. I've used it several times.
Okay. I was gonna ask you later, but you kind of touched on it. How would you respond to somebody that gave you some pushback to saying that rap is all negative?
Well, I think that if anybody understands the culture of hip hop and where it came from, it started from the streets. It started from pain. It was a voice of the oppressed.
It was an alternative to violence.
It definitely, there's a line that LL said in one of his songs, and he says, props to hip hop. I thank God for hip hop because it helped brothers escape. And that's the truth. If it wasn't hip hop,
it used to stop violence. Like it used to be, instead of, people fighting in the Bronx, they'd have rap battles.
And dance battles, absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. And so, my pushback would be, that's the voice of the street. It's the voice of the hood. And maybe if somebody came and took over the hood and helped the hood, it wouldn't be so negative in some ways. But at the end of the day, I feel like the children need hope and they need light. And I'm here to bring the hope and the light back to the little children so that they can be inspired. They can know how great they are. They can know all the beautiful gifts that God put inside of them, and that they have a place where they can shine that light. And I want to be something positive for the children to look forward to in a time that is full of a lot of pain and confusion. I want to be something steady and exciting, bringing light and sharing love with the children through hip hop, because they hear it every day. They walk down the street with their parents listening to hip hop. So, I just wanted to have a place for them to have that experience.
It's okay. It happens on ESPN podcast, so we good.
Yeah, my daughter shares my Wi-Fi, so her friends are calling her.
Got you. So speaking of kids, how did y'all choose the children for the show?
Well, we had a casting call, and we had a lot of children submit videos, and we just chose children that were full of energy, that were full of light. Also, here we go again. Sorry. Yeah, I can't yell at anybody right now while I'm being recorded.
Wouldn't be the first time for that either.
But so yeah, we chose children that we felt were eager to learn, excited to be on social media, who loved watching YouTube, and which we saw Amaya, that's what she loves to do. So yeah, we just did that, and it just so happened that one of those children were right in our family, so we were able to snatch him up and put him to good use. So shout out to Dylan, love you. That's my nephew, and he's awesome. So yeah, that's how we chose it. We still actually getting ready to do another casting call. We're looking for more children to join the Cypher. We're going actually to different preschools and scouting per se to find, like, you know, children who meet that description who can join us every episode.
I don't know if you notice, you know, I don't know if Maisha is your publicist or what her role is, but I sent her a video of me and my family watching the first episode, and you wholeheartedly have my 8-year-old daughter and my 13-year-old son and my teacher wife's approval.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so happy about the babies and the teacher wife, because teachers, as we know, right, Ms. Tata, we drive everything. And now we're pulling from everywhere to engage these children, because it's a tough job we have right now. And I say we because I'm a teacher and I'm always going to be one. So yeah.
I want to talk about some teaching stuff, but we're going to stay on the show for a little while. Miss Tata, did you have a musical career or a musical background of any sort?
No, I do not have a musical background. However, I do have a passion for music. So I thought it was a nice inclusion for me to kind of branch off and include what I do have a passion for, mixed in with my career passion. And it was an easy transition.
I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of you, I shouldn't say it like that. What does the company slogan mean with see the world from an indigo view? I like that.
Well, I will say this: if you ever Google what an indigo child is, I believe the world is full of them. And indigo children tend to have like a sixth sense in a way. They are very in tune with what's going on with life, and they have a purpose here. I will say right now, if you think about like maybe the 80s, 70s, 80s, when babies were born, the first question they would say is, did they open their eyes? Now babies are born like, what's up? How you doing? They just have they have an awareness. So that's what we mean. We're speaking to those children in a lot of the projects that we make.
Got you. And how'd y'all select DJ D Life? How'd he come to be attached to the show?
Oh, well, D Life is family. D Life has been around for years. He's from Queens, like all of us. And so it was just a natural selection to reach out. He's connected in so many ways, our family. So we had to reach out to him.
All y'all from Queens? What part?
Jamaica, Queens.
Hollis.
Hollis.
St. Albans,
Laurelton,
Laurelton, Rosedale, you know, we in there, Left Rack.
Mm-hmm.
Left Rack, you be up in Left Rack?
I was in Left Rack.
Grew up in Left Rack. Yes.
That's right.
Really? I used to live in Left Rack for like a year and a half in the late 90s. You ever seen a white dude with real long braids playing basketball?
No, I actually was we moved from Left Rack about 88.
Ah.
Yeah, but I was there. I went to PS14. Shout out to PS14. Went there for first grade and second grade.
See, I'm from DC, and I love rap and basketball, and all we had was go-go tapes. So I used to go up New York and play basketball and cop a bunch of like Stretch Armstrong, Clue tapes, things of that nature.
Oh yeah.
And then there was some real good games in Queens, particularly Left Rack, and I just ended up staying there for like a year and a half.
Yeah, Left Rack is the energy's always dope. Every time I go up there, I had all my family is gone now, but I have family that lived there for a long time. But everybody has left the Left Rack. I wouldn't say projects; it's not projects, but Left Rack.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm in my 40s now, so it probably be too much for me. But when I was young, it was live and fun. Like that was like the best thing I ever saw. One like nothing like that in DC. I tell you that much.
Well, DC is dope too.
Oh yeah, in a different way. But like I love rap. You know, like in DC at that point there had been no Wale or nothing. Like our only rapper was like Nonchalant, the 5 o'clock in the morning lady. And
oh yeah,
and there just wasn't like rap concerts because Go-Go was so big.
Yeah, Go-Go is dope. So that's awesome.
And then
Thanks. What are you doing?
Stay muted.
Yeah, we're gonna mute you.
Binks Love having road issues. What's Binks Love's role on the show?
Binks is the creative director. She helps with all things creative. She helps me stay centered with as far as the mission and the vision, what it looks like on screen, the music selection. She's very, very instrumental in putting all that together. And I couldn't do it without her, because every step of the way, she's guiding and helping me, and basically helping us stay relevant and keeping us tight with that.
Is she going to be the driving force behind the Preschool Cypher mixtape? And can you tell me about that?
Absolutely. She's definitely a big part of that, putting everything together. Her daughter is an artist. She's amazing. KB, she's got that EP right now. You can find that on iTunes, music and some other platforms, I know, but she's one of the main writers for the show, for the mixtape. She got some heat coming. So we're really happy about that.
Got you. Miss Tata, what would you say, and my daughter wanted me to ask you this, what's the best recipe for slime?
The best recipe for slime is dish soap. We had baking soda. We had food coloring. We had some water. And I think that's all that we used. Oh, we had glue. I think we had some.
We had some glue, yeah.
We had some glue. So those are the simple, inexpensive ingredients that you can find at your local dollar store or your local grocery store. Make sure you get a mixing bowl, one that you may not use for raw chicken, one that you can just play in. But those are simple ingredients. And even if you don't have food coloring, you can use your colored dish soap to create some sort of color.
Right, definitely.
We like to make non-toxic slime because some children like to eat it.
Yeah, that vending machine stuff. You don't want no parts of that.
We don't want anything that's going to send them to the ER.
Definitely. So I want to ask y'all some teaching questions. In lieu of the pandemic and everything, what do y'all think about remediation versus acceleration?
Ms. Tata, you want to take that?
Okay, sure. I think there is a fine distinction between the two, especially during this pandemic, because, it's not the students' fault for their lack. So you want to excel them based on what you know about them, based on previous scores. And then there's like students who might be lackadaisical purposely because they do not want to put the effort in. So you may have remediation there. I think that during this pandemic, students do deserve a chance. So I do believe that they deserve acceleration more than they do remediation, because how can you really base a student off of the different circumstances that they are experiencing? One thing you can do, though, if you want something substantial and more concrete to base a student to excel them, is you can give them like a formative assessment. So you can take some scores that you have for a test that you create to really just like measure, to give a fair test to measure. I don't believe that all students should be placed behind, being that we are in a pandemic, but I think a fair assessment can excel all students. It's just been really challenging, because that's a great question I've been asking myself, like, do you excel or do you put, remediation? But I do believe that during this pandemic, all students deserve a fair chance to excel before you declassify them.
And I think that also, just to piggyback off that, assessment is everything, just to see where they are. And I feel like one of the things that need to change in the education field is that we need to teach children where they are and not have such, I don't want to say have expectations. Of course, I believe fully on expectations, but every child is different. So you teach according to the child's needs and what they need. And some children during this pandemic, they had all the best tutors coming to their homes, helping them. And some children were left to fend for themselves while mommy and daddy were trying to figure it out. And, let's not forget about the trauma A lot of children lost family members, you know, parents, and now they're living with grandma and they never even met grandma. So it's a big thing. And I feel like the job of teachers during this pandemic, I feel like maybe society really understands our role now, and hopefully, you know, we can start getting paid our weight. Because all teachers across the country are underpaid. I don't care where you live, they're underpaid. And so hopefully we can start getting some recognition and appreciation.
Well, not to interrupt you, let's touch on that. You know, I'm in my 40s. When I was 5 years old, I heard people talking about teachers are underpaid, and it's the truth. Well, why do you think our society accepts that? Like, why has that been an acceptable statement for decades that an American can just make offhand and everyone accepts it? Teachers are underpaid is a well-known universal fact. And that, to me, that seems like that should be upsetting to people.
Yeah. I work for a charter school system up in Buffalo. I'm a 7th grade English teacher. And I know with the charter school, they're more individualized and more self-governed. So I think it's based on who's overseeing your charter school, your director, to where they kind of base your pay off of how they feel sometimes. There was a sub that applied for the job at my school, and he was told that the position's pay hasn't changed over the last 15 years. And if you go to a Buffalo public school or just a general public school, they'll have a government type of system where charters are based on the state and, you know, local funding. So I think for a charter system, it shouldn't be so, you know, authoritarian type of situation. There should be a union with a charter to come in and kind of regulate that. And as far as a Buffalo public or just a public school, you know, I guess it's kind of like the country now. You can look at what the country deems as essential, being that the government is the one who controls a public school's a teacher's rate. So there really needs to be a stronger union up above in our government, in our Congress, to help regulate that, because clearly a director is not going to give you what they don't have to. And it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate that teachers start off with about $20,000, and the most I've ever heard a teacher make is about $80,000.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Like I said, my wife's a teacher, and the little, like, you know, charter schools around here, but they're independent though. They're not by the state. But I'm in Florida. The 75 is like the most I ever heard. But like Slim had like 2 PhDs or something.
That's what I'm saying.
One thing I will say, I've worked for several charter schools, and I actually made more money working for charter schools, and definitely 6 figures. But the work that you have to do for that, like the fact that you have to go above and beyond all expectations when you work for schools like that. And don't get me wrong, every teacher I've ever met goes above and beyond all the time. This is what we do. But I feel like one of the reasons that teachers haven't been, I mean, let's just be honest, teachers require so much education. You have to have master's degrees almost in every state in order to teach anywhere that any field that you have to have that much education, you get paid a lot for it. And I feel like because teachers have such a kind heart, we love the children, we do it for the children, everything's for the children. The idea of striking is just not going to happen. Like, you know, you never really get 100% teachers on board with that, because they're looking out for the children. And as you see, right, the main push for opening up our society at this time is because what's going to happen with the children? We need somewhere for the children. Where are the children going to go? It's not really even about the education. It's about their safety. And so if you see the role that we play in society, then I feel like the pay should be equal. I mean, I have my own theories on how schools should look. But one thing I will say, we're not babysitters. You know, we're educators. So I'm not here to make sure little, you know, Tyreek has, you know, a safe place to be. I'm here to make sure Tyreek is going to learn. And that's my main concern, however way we need to do that. And, you know, just the whole idea of school, the time that schools open and everything, it's all political. So, you know, we really get down to the whole development of schools in this country and start to really, evaluate what we're doing, maybe, you know, we'll see there could be a lot more changes overall in the public school system in general.
Yep.
I hope so. I'm sorry to cut you off, but before we lose Miss Binks' love again, how are you gonna be?
I apologize. I thought we were
okay.
on a break when that music was playing, and that was my music, and I feel like a fool right now. And I'm so sorry that.
Nah, we'll just say you're a smart marketer.
I'm not crazy.
You're just a real smart marketer. She like, man, forget this episode. They're gonna hear my music. She bum rushed the stage. That's all. It's all good.
I'm back. I'm good. Everything's good. I'm back.
So what's gonna go into your process for selecting the songs for the mixtape?
Okay, so I am the creative director. Jazz probably already told you guys that. And with the song selections, the artist is actually, again, we work a lot with family, and she's my daughter. She's been writing and doing artistry since she was, I would say, 8. And she started writing around 11, 12 years old. She started writing. So she is the main person who does the music and the sounds and things like that for the mixtape. So in picking the songs, me and Jazz pretty much, run down the different aspects of with children as far as like sharing and going to bed at night and things like that. And then we come up with the concept for the songs. We take it to, her name's KB, and I give her the information, the vibe that we're going with, and then she just turns it into something phenomenal. Like you'll hear it when right now we're doing pilot episodes. In September, once we all the way out and launch, then that's when you'll start to hear all of the different nighttime songs, sharing songs, and things like that. So that's pretty much the process as far as selecting the music and picking, how, the sounds that we want and how everything's going to go together.
And we also have other artists too that we're using, more hip hop artists I've been reaching out to now that they see the pilot, to see if they would be willing to get on some tracks and do some different things. We had the most amazing Emily MC, drop some bars on the theme song with KB, and she sang it. It was amazing. So definitely having a lot of other artists as well. And so as the mixtape starts to come together, you'll see most of the songs will probably be written by KB and performed by different artists. Sometimes you might even see some of the kids might take a stab at some things, depending on what it is. Some of the cast members also, and different kids that are musical, allow them an opportunity to show their talent.
Man, it's crazy that for this last year, I've heard all this narrative about how teachers don't want to go back to work. And I see my wife teaching on a computer and teaching Chinese kids on VipKid. And I see people like y'all creating these things for children to watch. And it just kills me how teachers are treated in this country. I ain't trying to stay on that. But like, I live in Tampa, and I ain't political, but if I was, I'm damn sure not conservative. And you kind of get bombarded with it, and you always hear these like radio stations talking about like teachers unions, that the teachers don't want to go back to work. And I'm like, y'all crazy. Every teacher I know is busting a hump to try to continue educating through this, and at the beginning, not even knowing if it was, how dangerous it was.
Well, I will say, going back to work is a term that I kind of laugh at, because I haven't worked harder since the pandemic. Even being at home, working from home, it's a lot. I teach children on the autism spectrum who do not have the ability to speak. They are nonverbal, and so they communicate with pictures and things like that. It's been very challenging working with that population of students, and it's always easier to do it in the classroom. And I'm not going to necessarily state my position on whether we should be in a classroom or not, but we're working, period. Like whether we're in the classroom or we're not. And I'm, proud to say for myself that my students actually show a lot of growth during this time. But one thing about teachers, we're going to figure it out. however way we need to, we're going to figure it out. I mean, when they first shut schools down, everyone was trying to figure out, what do we need to do? What do our students need, and how we're going to get it to them? You know, risking our lives to go literally to their houses and bring materials and just provide support to the parents, working late. You know, I was working sometimes till 9 o'clock at night just because the parents weren't able to get on. So it's like, well, I'm home, you're home. Whenever we can find a moment, we'll take that moment, you know. And a lot of times, you know, the principals are saying, oh, try to keep your work-life balance. I'm like, what are you talking about? That doesn't exist right now. There's no such thing. It's all one place. So yeah, I'm all for teachers getting back to work, but whatever that means, you know, just long as
in the safest manner.
Exactly. Exactly.
Miss Tata, was you nervous shooting the pilot or doing any of the material, creating any of the content?
No, I wasn't nervous, and I wasn't like overly confident because I am specialized with 7th through 12th grade. So I just thought, how would it be for me to be on a student-friendly level of preschoolers? But I was not nervous. If anything, it was like excitement because, you know, I'm animated. And this was my way to be at the students level. I can be animated with preschoolers. So it was like, I was ecstatic to have this opportunity to try something different, because as a teacher, you want to be flexible, and you want to say that you've touched all realms of teaching. So I wasn't nervous. No, I wasn't.
What can we look for coming up the rest of this season and going forward? Do y'all want to remain on YouTube? Are you looking to get distribution? Or are you going to wait to see what happens? And then just and the content of the show.
I'm trying to, well, first of all, we have our art episode coming up and our slime episode coming up. So this should be a lot of fun for the children. We have the amazing, talented, the artist Uncut, and he was gracious enough to join the Cypher. So we're really excited. That episode will air next Wednesday.
Uncut with a K? UNKUT?
No, UNCUTT.
Okay.
Uncut art. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. Go check him out. So dope.
Probably seen his paintings in Tampa and stuff like that. I didn't mean to cut you off, Jazz.
Yeah, he's got the Protect Your Heart. He's the artist behind the Protect Your Heart campaign. He's awesome. He's done portraits for so many people, so many exclusive paintings and portraits for lots of artists. He's done a Michael Jackson portrait, Biggie, Nipsey. He's just awesome.
Malcolm X.
Yeah, who? Malcolm X, absolutely. Yeah, he's dope. So check out Uncut Art. He's, say it again.
I was asking Mark, did he watch She's Gotta Have It? The
Netflix series.
Yes, he was on that.
I started to, but I thought it was whack, to be real with you. I watched like an episode and a half.
Oh my God. We love Zola.
Well, Uncut Art is going to be featured on the Preschool Cypher, and he's dope. And moving forward, we have we would love to find distribution with any major company that's aligned with our values. The things that we are doing.
So good luck with that.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Well, we can create those platforms.
Exactly.
Y'all got high values. You know
exactly.
What I mean? Y'all might have to class a place up. You might not be able to find somebody that got
it's
your
so
values.
good. We're led, and we're gonna follow where we need to be.
Right, and if we don't find it, we're creating it. Like we're creating it. If it's not there, and they don't have it, or nobody's with it, then we're creating it, and it's gonna go.
I mean, and then you know you'll monetize your YouTube videos. It's not like ain't nobody never made a fortune off just YouTube.
Right. And we're here for the children. The money is secondary. It's lovely. It's amazing. It all goes for the children. You know, we're here to bring the light and make sure that children have a safe space in hip hop. And if the only safe space they have is the YouTube channel, that's where it be. But something tells me that's not what we have in store. But I'm not mad at it, you know. And we are very we're artists, and we're sensitive about our ish. So we're not really trying to take too much direction in that regard. So as long as, again, they're aligned and anyone's aligned with our vision, what we're doing, we're not going to be washed down. We're not going to be gimmicky. It's real hip hop. and that's that.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you can make real hip hop without cussing. Look at Chameleon and Rakim. They ain't never cussed on a song.
You're right about that. I'm 100% there.
Never cussed on a song? I never noticed that.
Yeah.
Well, Rakim never, definitely, for sure. I know that. But
Lil Wayne wasn't allowed to cuss until he turned 18. If you listen to all them old Hot Boy records.
Now I gotta listen.
It's so funny with Rakim, like with hip hop. I never even noticed the curse word. If you're a real good MC, you know, you never notice it, whether they do or they don't. It's just hot. It's fire. So, I mean, it's always nice when people bring that to your attention, you know, like, oh, there's no cussing. I'm like, oh, that's even better, you know? And then like I teach my students, like when I taught 7th grade, 8th grade poetry, sometimes you need to cuss. Sometimes that's the word that you need to use in that moment to convey the feeling. So I'm not necessarily mad at the cussing, but and I'm not mad at any of it. I just think everything has a place. You know, and that's why, again, Bright Eyes Productions, that's our role, to provide that light and safe space for children to access the culture without being infiltrated with things that's not really on their level developmentally. They don't have to ask the questions that, you know, really want to talk to them about at 3 and 4. You know what I mean? Right.
Hey, Miss Tata, my son wanted me to ask you, do you like My Hero Academia?
I cannot tell you if like I watched it or read any of the comics, but my students are anime fanatics. So My Hero Academia, what else today? Oh man, that's number one. I was doing summer school and the student used it as a reference to tie it into literary devices. So I'm gonna say I like it. Tell him that I like it.
The reason he wanted to know is the character in your background, he said, was drawn in My Hero Academia style on the show.
Oh, so a student actually dedicated that portrait to me. So, hey, see, tell him I love it then. I love it then.
Oh, no, he definitely thought it was cool.
Oh, look at that. And I kept it up just in honor of my student, of my former student. See, now I have to get on my anime stuff.
And that's the thing. They're all into the anime now. They're like animate out.
Yeah, they are. And like, I ain't gonna lie, like I like comic books, you know, comic book movies. I watch cartoons with my kids. I like the Adventure Show on regular time. But when you try to watch the anime, like they be about to fight. And then they just stop and be like, he has this sword. It will do this to me. I must do this. And I'm like, ain't y'all about to fight? Like they always stop and start talking about the details around them. I don't know. It just take me out of it, so I can't really rock with it, even though it do.
That's the anime
vibe. Yeah. He told me that's just how it be, but I mean, maybe it's
that's how it is.
They love that stuff. Death Note, all of that. They love all of that stuff.
Oh yeah. Hunter vs. Hunter, JoJo, all that stuff.
Oh,
Big Love, I'm curious if you have any recommendations for hip hop music that one could play around one's child. Because, you know, like my oldest is 17. So when she was, you know, like 3 or 4, I could get edited albums. But, you know, you can't really get that no more.
Yeah, right. I was actually just talking to my son, and he was telling me about an artist who's actually his age, 14 years old. His name is Baby Santana. And he is, he doesn't curse. And that's rare that you find, you know, artists coming up now that don't curse. As far as recommending somebody now that
in general, like one thing I saw, I play them like Non-Love, LL Cool J songs, Run DMC albums, Chameleon, like I said, never cussed.
It would only be old school rap that I would recommend, because right now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I pretty much shy away from the radio. And I haven't really heard any artists that I would recommend for a child to listen to. And what I mean when I say that is like Lil Baby. Lil Baby is actually, like, if you really listen to his music, he's talking about stuff right now. And I would definitely recommend him and for the kids to listen to him. However, it's other songs that he has that are not for kids. So that's where you kind of get into that gray area, because he has a lot of music. If people really just stop listening to the beat or whatever and listen to his words, like he's really, he's talking about some stuff, and he's talking about a lot of change and things like that pertaining to the world, pertaining to the youth. But it's just the other part of his, of his artistry, which consist of cursing, and he might got the song about the females and things like that. So if they're monitored and they don't slip off into the next track or whatever the case may be, I would definitely say that Lil Baby is one of them. And that's pretty much the only person that I could think of rap wise, off the top of my head. Another one, he's not so much a rapper, he's like a sing rapper, YK Osiris, I think his name is.
Yeah, YK Osiris, yeah.
I recommend him. They're starting to come to me a little bit now. YK Osiris, it's another one, I can't remember his name. The little high yellow. It'll come to me in a second. But that's a few of the KB's younger brother. His name is Millionaire, but he goes by VR, which stands for very rare. He's 14 years old. That's my son. He also he raps, and he's not going to be that, the disrespect, the things like right. that. You remember how Bow Wow grew up in that? Like, that's what I don't want for for the kids. Not saying that it was bad, but in hindsight, with him being around Snoop and all those, guys like that at such a young age, it didn't do him. It didn't do good.
Man, y'all probably don't say Bama up there, but Bow Wow is a Bama.
Right.
Cameron actually wrote all the lyrics on his first two albums. People don't know that. That's why I know one song said, "I've been in Columbus, never seen Bow Wow." But like Bow Wow is it, man. I have such a I got mad tattoos, right? And as soon as Bow Wow got a tattoo, I ain't never get a tattoo again.
Oh, come on, he's not that bad. He's not that. I mean, Bow Wow is a vet in this though. Like people.
I mean, he's accomplished. I won't take away anything from his accomplishments, but you could be a PhD and be a Bama.
I feel like, he's still that Bama word, but I feel like he's more than accomplished. The thing with Bow Wow is just his attitude. He acts very immature and things like that. And that just comes from, his upbringing. He's been raised by entertainers. His mom was very intricate in his life, but he did not have a dad. And he was pretty much raised by those entertainers who did a lot of adult shit around him. So that's why he's like that. But as far as accomplished, I feel like he's more than accomplished. Like,
oh yeah, he got a sterling resume. I feel like he gets, he doesn't get enough credit for what he's done.
It's his attitude and just how he presents himself, and he's very immature, in my opinion.
And that you can't necessarily talk about the lyrics like that, because there's been ghostwriters since the beginning of hip hop. And don't get me wrong, I understand that that was like a taboo to have at that time back in the day, but they were there,
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
sure.
gotta, I love listening to Kane talk about him writing Bismarck stuff.
And ain't rappers delight all bit from other artists? Like they just copy some raps they heard in a club?
I did some controversy. I'm not gonna comment on that, but I've heard some stories. But I just feel like, that it's just part of the game right now. It just depends on how you're delivering it, really, to me.
It's if I like to listen to it. I've been stopped caring about that ghostwriter stuff. The only reason I said that Cameron wrote his things is if you're making music for children, Cameron's probably not the person that you want writing your verses.
Yeah.
Cameron, though, Cameron, if you want to come to the Cypher and help us out, I would love that, because Cameron is very animated.
He's my favorite rapper ever.
That. Yeah, Cameron is dope. Like the way he's able to be a character, like back when he first started, I love that. His first album was awesome. I mean, he had his mom rapping on it. Like Cameron is dope. And we're not going to talk about the verses.
Yeah,
but Cameron is dope. Cameron, please.
Cameron got the biggest check off the verses. You could definitely tell that he was the one running it. All the little Triller people was coming to him, telling him to cut it off and everything. And it was all about that tour.
I just
everybody won.
That was awesome.
Yeah, everybody won. Everybody did win. Everybody won. They put on.
That was
and they going on a national tour shoot. They about to be down here in like 3 weeks.
That was like a monumental hip hop moment for me.
It was. Sure. I loved it. Man, I thought this was gonna be all like little kid stuff, but man, y'all really know your hip hop stuff, which bodes well for the Preschool Cypher.
Oh yeah, well,
real quick, while we was on Versus, have y'all heard the locks on Kanye's new joint? Anybody heard it yet?
Yeah, I haven't heard Kanye.
It just come out.
It came out.
Well, I was at the album release last night, so yeah, I heard all the joints.
I didn't know Kanye came out.
What's the name? I didn't know you like Kanye.
Are you serious?
Oh man, I want to hear that. I see y'all boy Nas got a new album, but I ain't been feeling Nas for a minute.
I love Nas all day. That QB,
it's tough. It's tough. You gotta listen to it. It's tough.
I didn't like King's Disease. I didn't like King's Disease at all. I listened to it like twice. And I mean, I'll put it to you like this: it's not whack, right? But I have every Nas album, right? So am I gonna pick up King's Disease, or am I gonna pick up Streets Disciple? Am I gonna pick up Illmatic? Am I gonna pick up I Am? Am I gonna pick up I'm not gonna pick up Nostradamus, but you know what I mean?
Right.
And you only got so much time in this world. So if I'm in the mood for Nas, I mean, I'll give King's Disease 2 a chance. And then when he was taking them pictures of Nicki, man, Nas needs to put his shirt back on in the videos.
Oh my God. I'm not Nas. That's all you. I'm not getting
I'm sorry.
That's on you.
That's QB all day. I love Nas. Shout out to Nas.
I like people who age gracefully, like Jim Jones.
Love Jim Jones too. Love everybody.
see, Nas ain't aging as gracefully. He in the videos with the leather shirt unzipped with a little bit of the gut.
You're not gonna do Nas on here. Don't
listen. Let me just say this.
Oh no, Nas ain't never gonna come on. I mean, I know Illmatic.
That's all I care about. He's aging because a lot of our soldiers ain't live. So if I gotta take Nas with a little pot belly, then it's all good. Let him be there. I love Nas, so it's all good.
Hey, okay, so I can't get mad at that. I mean, I'm faking hard too. I know at least like 7 Nas albums. If anything, I was just a little disappointed because you know I grew up thinking he was so cool, and
he is.
Cool. I thought it would last.
He's still cool. He's always cool. He's Nas. Period.
You must not seen the last 3 videos.
Nas is always
cool. He was in disguise in them Jones.
Oh my gosh.
I ain't trying to keep messing with you about that though. I'm sorry. I love Nas.
Look, we from Queens now. Don't get us on it. Don't flip the script.
Right. Man, LL Cool J, 68 years old. Look like he can jump from building to building.
LL is
not literally. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. He aged gracefully. You know what I'm saying? He still look cool. Others don't age gracefully and they don't look cool no more.
You're too much. I can't.
No, I think Nas has aged gracefully, and I think he looks just spectacular. He's fine.
There we go.
They probably care more about your opinion than mine anyway. So shit.
They do.
Nas has always been a favorite.
Yes, hometown hero. Shut your mouth, Mark.
I'm sorry, Queens. I love Big Noid though.
Oh my God.
I like him too.
People don't be giving Big Noid his respect, but I mean that's about all I got. Can you just tell us what to be looking forward to and where to find y'all on socials and the channel and all that good stuff?
Yeah, you can find us at brighteyesproductions.com first. You can go to our YouTube channel for the Preschool Cypher, the first project coming from Bright Eyes Productions. You can find us on YouTube. Also Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Clubhouse, everywhere, and all social media platforms. Yeah. So yeah, the Preschool Cypher, first project from Bright Eyes Productions. Look forward to the first season. Sorry, the first seasons in September, and a mixtape to follow.
All right, and Miss Tata, we gotta know your social media. They gonna want to be following you. You the forward facing.
I do have a Twitter account. It is at BAUGHTY. So that's my last name plus the first two initials. And I'm on Facebook, but that's a little complicated. You know, you have to change your name when students start finding you.
Right.
So it's just BAUGH backwards and YT. So that is where you can find me.
And you can find Miss Tai Tai on the Preschool Cypher YouTube page. You can find Miss Tai Tai Productions on Instagram, all things Miss Tai Tai too.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you.
At Binky Says, BINKYSAYS, and that is on Instagram, and it will connect to all other accounts.
Got you. And Ms. Binks, I would love to have you on a solo episode just talking about music where I can cuss and stuff.
Oh yes, let's do it.
All right. Well,
that's what we need for that.
Yeah, I know.
Shout out to KB.
I heard when she was trying to turn the radio off.
Yeah, shout out to KB. Shout out to Emily MC. Shout out to D Live. Shout out to Uncut. Shout out to A1 on Day One. Aya and Amir. They got their project is coming soon. So we got a lot of things in the making, and you know, we're here.
And our lovely candidates, Amaya.
Absolutely, Amaya, Dylan, and Ava. Shout out to my babies. And they did awesome, and we're gonna be back for the next for the first season.
Yeah, shout out to them. They all did do awesome, but I rock with Dylan. Tell Dylan I said what's up.
Dylan is the man.
Dylan of the show.
Yes, happy birthday, Dylan. His birthday just passed. So we
and so did Jamila's. Everybody praise Jamila.
Yeah. So Dylan is awesome, and I'm glad to have. First, I'm glad that he's my family, and I'm also glad to have him on this platform. He is definitely a big asset to the Preschool Cypher.
No doubt. Would y'all be cool checking in down the road so we can talk about how the first year went?
Oh, yes.
Anytime. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
No doubt. Well, thank you very much, ladies. I ain't gonna butcher it and give y'all the outro with all y'all names. So there's been the Super Fact Show. Mark Walter Ward, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark.
Oh, no doubt.
Shout out to your wife too. Tell her hang in there. We got this.
We got this. Thank you.
I will, no doubt. And y'all have a great day.
All right. Peace.
All right, peace.